Hey guys, it's Bailey from Making Up the Midwest, and this is going to be a 3-in-1 tutorial showing you 3 of my favorite looks that I have been wearing with the start of fall. So let's get started. I'm going to start everything off with this green tone tutorial because to me, nothing says fall like a nice gilded green. I'm going to start the look off with a shimmery white eyeshadow that I'm placing on the inner third of my eye, both top and bottom, as well as my brow bone. All the shadows I'm using in this tutorial are from the M Cosmetics Beach Life palette, but it's easy to find shadows that look similar, so don't feel like you have to have it to do all of these looks. Next, I'm using a medium shimmery taupe shade, and I'm placing that basically on the rest of the moving part of my eyelid using a fluffy brush to blend that, buff that all over the eye so I get some nice, even pigmentation. Then, using a medium camel shade as a best friend blending color, I'm using a fluffy brush to work that into my crease using windshield wiper motions just to sweep it evenly in there. And on to my favorite color. It is a deep olive green, and I'm using that in the outer third of my eye. Still using the same brush from before, just patting that, swiping it evenly there so it creates some depth to that outer corner. Now to add some interest, I'm going in with a mid-tone gold color, and I'm using that to blend both the taupe and the white, just so there isn't such a stark line between a cool shadow like the white and the warmer taupe. To add some definition to my eyes, I'm taking the shimmery chocolate color and a smaller brush, and I'm using that to really add some depth to that outer corner. Up next is some definition. To get that, I'm using a black liner just on the outer third of my eye so it doesn't look too harsh. And because the following products are going to be the same throughout each look, I'm just going to flash these up really quick. A Mary Kay mascara, my Maybelline Fit Me Shine Free foundation, and my It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer are what I use on my face in all of these looks. Now I am going into one of the contour powders from my palette, and I'm using that to contour my face as usual. Another way I love to use the same highlight shade that I put on my inner corners is as a highlight on my face. So I've just taken a concentrated brush and applied that on the tops of my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, and my cupid's bow for a nice healthy glow. On the lips, I'm using this insanely colored berry lip product, again from the Life palette. I'm using my finger to kind of messily apply that because I just want a light natural wash of color across my lids. And that is it for the first look. Now let's start talking about those soft oranges that always go with autumn. In this palette, I am using a mix of orange, gold, brown, and a pop of light iridescent blue. So first, again, I'm going to start off with this iridescent white shade, and I'm placing that on my inner corner pretty much like I did in my previous tutorial. Now I'm going into what might be my favorite orange shade ever using that same brush, and I love this shadow because it's orange but still flattering. Orange can be a very hard color to wear, but even on my fair skin that has neutral undertones, it still looks good. And I'm placing that all over the moving part of my lid, just patting and blending. Then for some interest and fun, I'm using this light iridescent blue to contrast the orange and placing that on my lower lash line right up until it meets the iridescent white in my inner corner. Moving into a gold, I'm using that again as that transitional shade between the iridescent white and the orange, just because going from stark white to a somewhat more vibrant orange can be a little harsh, so just blending that out. Again, going in with a mid-range camel tone, my best friend blending color in the Beach Life palette. I'm using that in windshield wiper motions in my crease to act as a blending agent for deeper colors that I'm going to apply now. Going into the shimmery chocolate brown, I'm applying that to my outer corner, again like with the last look, to add a little bit more depth so it's not just a flat wash of color on the lids. And then for a change of texture, I'm going in with a matte chocolate brown, kind of a grayish tone, and using that to add more depth to the crease, add some different texture, and blend it all together so it's one seamless eye look. I felt like this look needed a stronger bronzer, so I went into the deeper bronzer shade from the Beach Life palette, and that's what I'm using to contour my cheeks, using it up into my temples as well as right underneath my chin. Then for blushes, I am using the gorgeous gold peach shade, or peachy gold I suppose, and using that as both a blush and a highlight because it is kind of shimmery. Then I'm rounding this look off with a sheer orange glossy lip and just applying that with my fingers again for a very laid back look. And that is the completion of look 2. Now moving right along to the last look, this is more of a classic navy smoky eye with a subtle pink twist. And the first thing I do here is use that white shimmery again on my inner corner, so I didn't show that here. I'm moving right along to a soft medium taupe shade, shimmery medium taupe shade that I'm placing all over the moving part of my eyelid. At this point, I'm sure you can guess what I'm going to do next. It is the mid-tone camel shade, my favorite best friend blending color in the Beach Life palette, and I'm using that once again as windshield wipers in my crease, and this just helps all of the shadows love each other that much more and blend together seamlessly. Onto the pink, I'm taking a smaller, narrow domed brush and the medium matte pink, which is beautiful in this palette. I'm using that to softly create a matte crease. Going right over that camel, like I said, it just helps all the other colors blend in well. And then I'm moving on to the gorgeous shimmery navy blue in this palette and using that to deepen up my outer corner, and the way it contrasts with the pink just makes this look for me. So you also notice that I'm using it to define the outside of my lower lash line as well. That is optional, but I personally like it to balance everything out. Then the last part of the shadows for this look is just to line my upper lash line with a deep chocolate shadow, just for a little bit of extra definition. Again, this is optional though. So the eyes to me were the main event in this look, so I just went only for blush, no contour or anything. I'm going back to that light pink and dusting that on the tops of my cheekbones for a light hint of just pinched cheek color. And in the home stretch is the cheek color. First, I'm starting with a light pink, just very subtly pink lip gloss kind of cream thing, placing that all over the lips, and then I'm placing a light shimmery balm more on the center just to add a little contrast and some depth. That is it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the looks that I'm loving going into fall, and that you can get some use out of them too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!